CrossFit MP started basically as an extension of my CrossFit journey. For me, getting involved in CrossFit was a little bit of a battle or more of a struggle from one of my mates who I also worked with in the military, and he had been CrossFitting for about 3 or 4 months, and like most new CrossFitters was absolutely addicted and wouldn't talk about anything else. And in the military, there's a fair divide about whether to CrossFit or not to CrossFit. So I decided after enough hassling from him for those months that I'd give it a go. I thought I was fairly fit coming into it, and then I started and I spent more time in the fetal position in the first couple of weeks than actually working out. It was a fair eye-opener, but after that first couple of weeks I sort of started to feel like I wanted to push a little bit more as opposed to rest a little bit more, and you know, after 4 weeks, you know, the rest was history for me. That was it. It was clear in my mind I'd never go back to the traditional bodybuilding style training, and I just have CrossFitted ever since. From there, 9 months later, I did my level 1 CrossFit course, just up in CrossFit Victoria here, and affiliated the month after that, and then opened the box a month later after that. So I'd been CrossFitting for just under a year when this started. And you know, from my experience with that, I just wanted to share CrossFit with as many people as I could. Okay, yeah, I could see that from the outside looking in, people would think that CrossFit, is intimidating, and probably more the female population than the male population. Even myself, looking at YouTube videos when I first started, I thought, what's going on here? People are throwing weights around and just going nuts, and no one wears a shirt, and what's happening? And I guess from looking into the box from the outside, people would see the same thing, but live. And I think that, well, I've heard that people think, oh, I'm not fit enough to go in there, or I don't know if I want to walk into that environment. As far as that goes, I think it's still going to be hard to break through that barrier and convince people that they can come in there, but hopefully, the diversity of people that we have show and prove that anyone can walk in the door. So once you're inside the box, you realise that it's probably the most friendly environment that you'll come across, and the community that we have in here is second to none. We can't really get people out of the box after the workouts are over because everyone hangs around to have a chat. Everyone knows each other by the first name. If they finish a workout, they first, and they'll be making sure that the other people are still going to get through regardless of that. We don't have the mirrors everywhere, so you don't have to battle it out with other people to try and get in front of that and have the that meathead mentality. Whereas everyone, all different ages, like we've spoken about with the diversity, can come in here, achieve the same thing, whether they're lifting the same weight or not, and then still have that that community at the end of it. No one really should feel intimidated by it. It's raw in our training aesthetic, but it definitely is that for a purpose, and that's why we get the results. I think what's changed significantly in my mind in CrossFit MP is the mentality probably of myself with CrossFit in general. Initially I was exposed to it and saw it as the sport of CrossFit, and then noticed that everyone was an athlete, and that's sort of the road that I wanted to go down. In the last couple of years I've learnt that CrossFit really is truly for everyone. I mean, I'd heard that many times before, but as I've seen more and more people come through, or diversity of people that we've got in our box now come through, and the changes that they've made and their individual goals that they've set, achieved, or probably far exceeded any goals that they thought they could achieve. I guess the mentality from myself and in here has changed. Our masters in our box are just unbelievable, and they're sort of setting the mark for a lot of the younger people. And then we even have people that have come in their mid to late 60s that have gone off pain medication and can move more freely than they probably have in the last 30 or 40 years. Well, CrossFit is going massive. I mean, global would pretty much be an understatement now. So it started quite small, like I mentioned earlier. When we started, there was only 6 affiliates in Victoria, and there was less than 20 in Australia and New Zealand. Now that growth is significant. I couldn't tell you the exact number, but there's more than 80 affiliates across Australia and New Zealand. Yeah, the future of CrossFit MP will basically involve growth, and that being, we've talked about how we accumulated equipment from the start, accumulated more mats and all that sort of thing. The next thing is to go up in the size of the space that we have. So the box is fairly good size now, but we're sort of reaching capacity. So we're in the process of looking for a new facility as we speak, with a few more amenities and I guess a few more luxuries for people to come in, as well as having a bigger training environment. We have pretty much everyone that you can think of. The old saying of CrossFit's for everyone is quite true here, and we see that day in and day out. Obviously all sharing the common bond of CrossFit, and it's quite amazing to see that, because it doesn't matter who they are, they all seem to fall in love with it and can talk the same language.